Good to see everyone. We call the meeting of the Liberty County Board of Commissioners to order. IT, I hope I did not just, all right, thank you. Thank you for your grace. Good to see everyone. On a busy day, we decided we'd go ahead and have this meeting. As you see, we have a fairly short agenda, and so we ask everyone to please cooperate with the short agenda. Let's be efficient, but let's not be overly spoken, is that a phrase? So that we elongate things. So happy to have you here. At this time, Mr. Brown, has the meeting been properly advertised?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, I see Patrick right there. All right. All right, then Pastor Kendall Page will come down, Bishop Page will come and lead us in our prayer and our pledge of allegiance. Good to have you with us, sir. Thank you for. And he has told me today that he will be serving in the capacity of President or Chairman?
Yes, President.
Of the United Ministerial Alliance. Good to have you aboard, sir. We look forward to seeing you in that role.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Let us know.
All right, let's pray. Most holy and righteous God, we thank you for this day. We honor you. We bless you. We just thank you for breath in our bodies. We thank you, God, for the Liberty County Board of Commissioners and every person that's represented this county. We thank you for every citizen. God, we pray for wisdom. We pray for unity, God, and we pray that your hand of protection will guide us in our day-to-day meetings and gatherings, God. It's in Jesus' name we do pray and give you praise. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, kind sir. At this time, our agenda calls for approval of our minutes for the month of October. Sharon.
Second.
Thank you, sir. We motion to approve the October 1st and October 17th meeting minutes. Any further discussion? All in favor by show of hands, please. The minutes for the month of October are approved by this commission. This time, we'll pause for proclamation National GIS Day. Mr. Clint Stanley, our IT director, is going to come and present with his support team.
I'm just here to tell you that we're coming before you today to ask you to approve a proclamation for National GIS Day, and I'm going to turn it over to the people that actually do the work. Mr. Scott Wall with our Assessor's Office Mapping Department, and Ms. Wincy Poon from the Coastal Regional Commission.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
No, it's still morning somewhere in the world.
It is.
So on the 20th of this month, we're going to have GIS Day from 9 to 4 here in the boardroom. Basically, GIS is Geographical Information System. And in a nutshell, what that is, it's basically maps, taking data, putting it on maps, such as your zoning maps, parcel maps, your damage assessment map, which we just did for the storm. By the way, just kudos to the assessors and the EMA. Due to our DART program that we use with GIS, we're able to, I think we were the first county in the state of Georgia to get declared for the storm. So again, kudos to that. So that was all based off of GIS. The agenda, I think I provided each of the board members. We have an agenda where we're going to have Ms. Wincy Poon. She's going to come in and do a presentation. We have presentations from our Liberty County Fire Department. Comprehension Plan is also going to be there. Again, our damage reporting tool, which is DART, and Hinesville inspections. And then at the end of the day, we're going to have Mr. Phil Odom from the Historical Department come in and do some stuff about the historical sites within Liberty County that we also have for GIS. And with that, I'll let Wincy.
To wrap it up, it is a public event free for everyone. We encourage everyone to join us. If you know GIS, come listen and learn more. If you don't know, learn what it is. And we want to also thank you for the support from the leadership as well for GIS.
And that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Well, not a question. I'm going to ask Mr. Brown, put him on the spot. He's never on the spot. Help the average citizen see the value of their mapping during the storm when it comes to us being one of the first counties to be declared.
Well, the DART program is actually a program that they developed downstairs, which was a result of the damage assessment teams having to go out and manually take handwritten notes and handwritten files to be able to record damage that may have happened at someone's home. The ability to go out there and actually catalog it on a map now, which they get better at every time. Hard to believe they can get any better, but they actually are then able to locate exactly where that parcel is, exactly where the damage is, catalog that, and then produce a data file off of that grid map that actually encapsulates all that data for input that we can put into the state system immediately. That and the tenacity that they use to go out in that field in their teams make the GIS work because they're very dedicated to what they do. And I think I mentioned to you, and we had some other counties around that were bothered that they had not been declared. That's because their data wasn't in. And so because these folks do such a great job with that, getting that data input is the reason, just as Scott said, that we're able to get that to the state first. They want it as quickly as they can get it. I think they're really surprised at how quick they get it from the team that works on it.
I think that's a Liberty County proud moment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, you will read the proclamation?
Proclamation for National Geographic Information Systems Day. Whereas the Geographic Information System integrates hardware, software, and data for capturing, managing, analyzing, and displaying all forms of geographically referenced information. And whereas GIS is an important part of geography awareness by allowing us to view, understand, question, interpret, and visualize data in many ways that reveal relationships, patterns, and trends in the form of maps, globes, reports, and charts. And whereas National Geographic Information System Day is November 20th, 2024, and whereas Geography Awareness Week promotes geographic literacy in schools, and whereas Liberty County is committed to expanding GIS to the schools and general public in order to showcase real-world applications with GIS that helps answer questions and solve problems by looking at data in a way that is quickly understood and easily shared. Now, therefore, I, Donald Lovett, Chairman of the Liberty County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim November 20th, 24 as National Geographic Information Systems Day in Liberty County, Georgia, and urge all citizens to participate in the GIS activities planned in Liberty County and Hinesville, Georgia. In witness whereof I have unto set my hand and cause the great seal of Liberty County to be affixed this 5th day of November in the year of our Lord, 2024, and in the year of our county, 247.
If you all will come join us on the podium. We'll have someone take a photo for you. Capture the moment. Commissioners, if you gather around.
Better man than me. I'm getting ready. I'm getting out there right next. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right. He's on the board.
Because you're the latest.
I'm still, I almost said something. Congratulations on your election.
Yeah, I think I won.
I voted for you.
Well, my wife said you voted.
Good night. I came over to the good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
To attend.
All right, yes, sir.
Thank you for sharing that, Scott and Mr. Brown. You know, a teaching moment, and then also shows when the citizens ask, where does my tax monies go? That's good evidence of where it goes and how well it's used and the benefit we get from that. So thank you. American Recycle Day, Dr. Karen Bell.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am Dr. Karen Bell, the Executive Director for Keep Liberty Beautiful, and I have with me one of my board members.
Mia Wilson.
Hi, Mia.
And we're here to talk to you about recycling. Recycling, recycle, recycle. That is one of the things that we can do all together. Everybody can contribute to recycling. That's taking something that we use and making something new out of it. So we have a lot of different events going on throughout the month of November about recycling. We're going into the school system for the teachers to have a display about recycling on their doors. And we're working with 4-H and the school system in recreating some type of art out of recycling. American Recyclers Day is just a way to let people know that what we use new can also be new again. All right, and that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you for the intro. Mr. Brown?
Proclamation for Liberty County Board of Commissioners, November 15, 2024, as America Recycles Day. Whereas Liberty County recognizes the importance of protecting and preserving our natural resources and adopting conscientious habits that will improve our daily lives and bring about a cleaner, economical, and more sustainable environment. And whereas although there has been a significant increase in the amount of recycling in Liberty County to date, with the national recycling rate reaching 34%, we must also continue to focus on our initiatives such as waste reduction, composting, the reuse of product and materials, and purchasing recycled products. And whereas by encouraging businesses, state agencies, nonprofit organizations, schools, and individuals to celebrate America Recycles Day 2024, we can further promote recycling as a daily, environmentally efficient, and economically smart habit. And whereas state and community leaders can help encourage recycling by informing citizens about local recycling options, they can also help foster greater awareness of the need to expand collections programs by promoting the benefits of recycling for the environment and all of its inhabitants. And whereas it is important that all Liberty County citizens become involved in recycling activities and learn more about the many environmentally friendly recycled and recyclable products available to them as consumers. It is also fitting for Liberty County to celebrate America Recycles Day 2024 and take action by educating citizens and businesses about the recycling options available in our community. Now, therefore, I, Donald L. Lovett, Chairman of the Liberty County Board of Commissioners, do hereby recognize November 15, 2024 as America Recycles Day.
And, sir, on November the 16th, everybody can come out and contribute. We have our quarterly recycling fairs. They'll be in Midway at the Liberty County Community Complex, and that's where we have the shred truck and tire amnesty. So if you have tires, you know someone who has tires, and they're just laying around, they can bring them to us in Midway on November the 16th from 9 to 1 for the shred and our regular recycling fair, and your tires are from 9 to 3, just in case you need a little extra time there. From 9 to 3, right there in the complex. We are taking them for free. Our funds are limited, so we got one time a year that we're able to provide this service. The Waltyville location would take everything except shred and tires. That's only in Midway.
Okay.
And we hope that you are able to join us for our luncheon on November 20th from 11:30 to 1 at the Ameris Bank. And that's it.
We get to recycle and have lunch.
Yes.
Come on.
They put me down this time.
She did that.
It's still, you getting there? It's still in the okay.
One, two, three.
Nancy be there with you for Saturday.
Okay.
We got the Rice Fest.
Yes. Thank you all. Moving right along. Mr. Jeff Rickinson, will you greet us, please?
Good evening, Chairman Lovett, members of the board.
Good evening.
We have one zoning request for you today. This has been submitted by Marion Smith on behalf of the owner of Laurel View Properties. This
Do
is
need
a
to go
public
into a
hearing.
public hearing, please.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
All in favor, show of hands, please. We are now in the public hearing. So you've passed out a sign-up sheet, Mr.
I did pass
Okay.
out a sign-up sheet. If there's
Okay.
anybody that wanted to speak, there is a sheet on the back table. If you could just please sign it for us, that'd be great.
Okay, Chairman, as I said, this is a zoning petition that's been submitted by Marion Smith on behalf of the owner of Laurel View Properties to rezone 1,062 acres of land from it's zoned 3 different categories. Part of it's zone A1 agriculture, part of it's zone C3 highway commercial, and part of it is zone, the part that's in Midway is zone IC interstate corridor. And they'd like to do a mixed-use development here, and they're asking for PUD zoning, planned unit development, in order to do that. And they're going to have a variety of land use types, including commercial and residential uses, but there's going to be predominantly residential uses off of the Islands Highway corridor. This property is a portion of this property, a small portion is within the Midway city limits, and that'll have to be approved next week by the Midway mayor and council. This property is located at the northeast quadrant of Islands Highway at exit 76 on I-95. This is our zoning sign on the property and our ad in the Coastal Courier. And this is just a vicinity map. By the way, this map, along with some of these other maps that I got on here, are all generated by GIS. So our planning division
Good
uses
plug,
this
good plug.
extensively.
Good plug.
And I'll give kudos to the CRC. Wincy coordinated a multi-county aerial project recently that was funded by y'all through the LCPC. And so we're going to get some new aerial photographs here later on within the next few months. That's to replace the ones that you see here that are as old as 2017. And there's been a whole lot of development since 2017. So you'll notice some changes when you get a chance to look at those. Anyway, this is a vicinity map. This is 2 very large tracts of land. The PUD is not all of this, but because some of this is included in the Trayport East area, and I'll show you what's included and what's not. But these are the 2 parent tracts that they're going to be taking this PUD out of. And this is a jurisdiction map. The area over here in blue is the area that's in the city limits of Midway. And you can see just this little bit of area right here. There's about a 14-acre piece of this property that's located in the city limits of Midway. So that's going to have to go to mayor and council of Midway next week. And this is the zoning map. You can see that this is adjacent to the Trayport East area. That's all shown in gray. That's industrial property. In fact, a portion of this property was rezoned by you all last year, industrial as well. And they're not asking to change that. They're only asking to change the area here, kind of following this line and around above the industrial area there. You can see that some of this property is already zoned C3 right there, closest to exit 76, and then the area back in the back is all zone A1 agriculture. And this is a survey, pretty extensive survey there, but that has all the points on this big tract of land that they're proposing to rezone. And this is the floodplain. You can see that there are some flood plains in here indicated by the blue. That's AE zone, which means there is a elevation for the floodplain. You'll also see some gray areas here, which is really not in the floodplain. That's the X zone, which is in the 500-year floodplain, so it's not a flood hazard area. And these are the wetlands. There's about 30% wetlands on this property. You can see identified by these polygons here. And you know, on the whole, by Liberty County standards, it's relatively low in wetlands. This is their narrative. Again, this is a mixed-use project that they're wanting to do on the northeast quadrant of exit 76. Total acreage is 1,062, and about 30% of those acres, 325 acres, is wetlands. They're proposing to do this project in stages. They're going to start with an entrance road that'll come right off of the newly relocated Dorchester Village Road, right adjacent to where the Lowe's is. The Love's truck stop is about to begin construction. They say that the market demand will determine the overall timing, but they expect the first part of the construction to begin within 2 to 3 years, and the entire build-out would be within 10 years. This mixed-use development will be predominantly residential with about 11% of the overall acreage as commercial development. The development plan that they have, and this is represented in the 15-page general development plan, shows extensive coordination with the existing natural areas on there. They're going to emphasize walkability and the natural areas that are on the property. Residential development that's proposed in here will offer a wide variety of housing types and pricing points that the community needs and that the market demands. Commercial development will be predominantly shopping and restaurants, along with some regional and interstate commercial and possibly some regional medical facilities. This is the PUD district map, just showing you how things lay out. The area outlined here in red is the overall boundary of this PUD. You can see down close to the area that's in Midway, and the area that's closest to the interchange is an area they've identified as commercial. The whole thing is going to be connected by a spine road that will go back into the property, wrap around Trayport, and go all the way back to the far reaches of the property. At the beginning of it, there will be commercial adjacent to the interchange, and then back in the back is more residential. The blue and the yellow are more predominantly single-family or lower density residential. The green areas are the higher density residential areas. And these are just photographs of the site. This is on the site looking back toward the exit 76 and I-95. This is standing on the site looking back toward the coast. And this is standing on the newly relocated Dorchester Village Road looking over into the site. So that spine road we talked about will just be an extension right from here straight into the property, and they're proposing to have a traffic signal located there to handle the traffic coming from both the Dorchester Village Industrial Park and this proposed development. Our zoning analysis, does this property have reasonable economic value as it's currently zoned? It does. Number two, this proposal is consistent with the JLUS study. Number three, the proposed use does conform to the Liberty County Comprehensive Plan. You'll recall last year you amended the comprehensive plan to designate this property as mixed use, and this is definitely a mixed use proposal. Number four, will there be an adverse effect on the value and usability of nearby properties? Our answer is no. Number five, is the proposed use suitable in view of nearby uses? Yes. Number six, will the proposed zoning create an undue burden on transportation, including streets, transit, schools, utilities, and public safety? Our answer there is that a traffic study by a professional traffic operations engineer will be required as part of the site development to mitigate any undue burdens, and that's required by the Unified Development Ordinance. Number seven, will this allow a short-term gain at the expense of our long-term goals? The answer is no. Number eight, will this change cause a domino effect or encourage sprawl? We don't think it will. Number nine, are there unique historical sites that might be adversely impacted? We have not noted any. Number 10, is this parcel in a flood hazard area? As you saw on the previous map that I showed you, the GIS map, it is, portions of this property are in the flood zone AE. Number 11, is it spot zoning and unrelated to the existing pattern of development? No. And number 12, we have not identified any unique conditions which support approval or denial. Planning Commission heard this at their last meeting, and they recommend approval with standard conditions. So I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have, and the applicants are here as well.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Rickerson before we invite the applicants up to the podium to speak to the project?
I had one question, Jeff. The gentleman that was here earlier in the year last year, Joey, I can't remember his name. I believe it was Miss Cochran's grandson?
Yes.
He's here.
Okay. Okay, you need to shave, son. You had mentioned, we discussed that there may be an opportunity to come out with a northbound road out of that area there. You're talking about with the growth, you may be looking at possibly going northbound onto 95 with some of your traffic. Did that ever pan out, or?
So I think the area you were talking about, do you have the aerial?
Go back to it.
Yeah, it would be closer toward the Jericho River down there.
Is this the light?
we were talking, I think, about somewhere in this area or
Right.
possibly here. So since that is an interstate, so take what, federal and state approvals, we're still open to that.
Time and
We'd
money.
still like to do that, you know, if it's a possibility, but that's a very extensive process to go through. So, I mean, we've had initial conversations, but it'd be a very long time out, I think, for us to be able to get done. What we have done right now, which just got approved at the LCDA meeting yesterday. So it's not shown on here, but you can kind of see the outline of it. So we've been working with them over the past year for a secondary access connection that comes from here down through to Sunbury Road and then actually through parts of Tradeport East to connect down to Islands Highway so that there is a full loop connection. Eventually, as a part of that, Dorchester Village Road here, which curls around, would connect as well. So we have gotten that approved. That'll be a part of this plan as it gets further back. I think for the interchange, this would essentially be considered an interchange connection. So I think we'd have to get more parties involved to get that approved.
Well,
But yes, we're still willing to do
it's
it.
not Mr. Stevens' district, but we had looked at possibility of what homes is gonna be in that area, knowing that there'll be just still the one way in and one way out when you get, you know, come off of 95. If we could have an exit going north, I mean, you know, that's the only way you get out of there is going north.
Yeah.
So,
We would very much be in support of trying to get something like that done. Just like I mentioned in our last meeting when we talked about that.
Right.
Yeah,
Travis, how extensive is that process to have that kind of thing? Is that very, I see your
very
face.
long. Yeah.
Yeah.
About as difficult as it would be for the interchange improvements for that crossover to get done. So I think it would take the collective county and state and other, you know, groups, individuals, representatives to get involved to help with that, because that's a major road we're getting onto.
Yeah. Do you have to meet certain criteria, traffic count, all those kind of things in order to qualify for? Yeah, okay. So extensive time and money and,
Yeah, I think at this stage, they would want to know that a good bit of this was already developed and
Yeah.
that there was a traffic issue
Gotcha,
that
gotcha.
warranted it.
gotcha,
Um,
gotcha.
well, I mean, to develop it, you're gonna have to have trucks going in and out.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's, you know, that's the first part of it, not people living in it. I just, all in favor of, you know, having, an exit to get out of there. Where we're at right now, it does get a little bit boggling, so people in that area could go on out, you know, in any
I
type of
agree.
storm situation like we had the other day, when people try to leave. I guess we need to just try to, Joey, look at, getting in touch with transportation and see if, I mean, the easiest thing to do is for us to not do anything, but, I mean, we gotta try to look forward. Because I don't know, like I said, Mr. Stevens' district, they wanna go out at the red light, it's no problem, but I'm just thinking about long-term, if we don't do some forward thinking, we're gonna be in a tight down there.
Jeff, should we make note of that somehow in the comprehensive plan discussion for that area? When that-
Long range transportation
Yes, sir.
plan, we're in the middle
Yeah.
of that right now.
Yeah, okay, okay. All right. Yeah, we'll put that in there, yeah. We'd like to explore that. All right, let's see, anything, you want to hear anything else? Petition, or you want to make, Ms. Mary Ann, how are you?
Well, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good evening. I am Mary Elaine Sweat Smith, and I am a proud native of Liberty County. And a lot of what I'm going to present, Mr. Ricketson already did very well, so I'll try to not belabor it too much. But the main thing that I want to relay to you is how proud and excited I am to be a part of this development team and a part of this development. Travis, as has already been mentioned, is the second generation of the ownership of this property. These are not necessarily what I would consider typical developers, considering the fact that they've owned this land for more than 20 years. So A, they have patience, which is not a usual trait of a real estate developer. The other thing that they are is exceptionally thoughtful. I will definitely say I've never, in my over 25 years of commercial real estate experience, been involved with a developer who gave this much time and consideration into really creating the vision of a project, and not just, let's get in there, let's get as much money out of it, let's get out as fast as we can. So we took a good bit of time. We looked, of course, at what the land is. It's, 6 miles of frontage along water and marsh, visibility along I-95, access on Islands Highway, a good large swaths of wetlands, the existing lakes. But we also talked to, at least we've had 20 meetings and talking to both private individuals and elected officials and other people and trying to see, what do you think about this? What are your concerns? What do you want? I have a wish list already of tenants. And what would you like to see? And there have been some really interesting things that came about. And one big thing is public access, that we want to make sure that this is not just creating a community of new houses, but this becomes the center of an already creative, amazing, historical, existing community, that there's a place that people can come to walk on and bike on trails, to fish, or whatever else you might want to do on the large lake there, and to enjoy those things, as well as the people who are coming off of I-95. Let's let them come on in, sit for a minute, spend some money, give us some tax dollars, and and maybe even be introduced to the uniqueness of this great county. Of course, we want to provide services. That was another thing we heard from a lot of people. That this is a terribly underserved community for a lot of things, medical services and some other things that people have to drive to Richmond Hill or all the way into Hinesville to get. It's another thing we've heard. Housing types. So in our vision is a number of different types of housing with different price points. I know there's a bit of a housing deficit, and there are all sorts of different types of people who are welcome and would be great in this community. So we want to be able to provide lots of different options for them. Preserving the wetlands, and I'll get to more of that in a minute, and also phase development. Obviously, this will be done as the market dictates, and so we anticipate we're averaging on 10 years. We've done different projections, but that'll probably be on the start of construction, which will be 2 to 3 years from now. Okay, now I have to remember which button to push.
Right.
The one on the right?
Yes, one on the right.
Okay. This is just a brief summary of the overall tract. As you can see, about a third is wetlands. Another 2% is existing lakes and ponds that will remain. Of the development, the majority is residential with 11% of commercial. This is another picture of the wetlands and of the lake. And the lake is really important. The commercial development area is really going to be centered around that. That is the focus. Both, it will be pretty to look at, it is pretty to look at, but also we want people actually out there using it. We want the whole community to have access to that. So development districts. This is what we're here to do today, right, is to get the PUD approved. And the PUD is what protects this vision as developments come forward to have specific development plans approved. So we've divided it into logical districts, with the entry being the commercial up front. The plan there is ultimately as needed, the traffic signal, and to have a great boulevard entrance that's tree lined and with a median. So a really pleasant entry point with views to the lake. We find that we want to feel like we're coming around the lake. The commercial area, I'll probably speak a little bit more to that. I think that it's really going to ultimately be almost like 3 different shopping areas. One, we envision the things that people will come off the interstate for and the people coming from the coast to get on 95 on their way. Gas station, restaurants, retail. And then I think there'll be other sections that will be like a grocery store center, that will be like a shopping center with a grocery store. And then the other piece, which will hopefully be like right in front of the lake, will be walkable. There'll be areas and common areas in the commercial space for things like festivals or concerts or farmers markets. And hopefully a real gathering place of, you know, a place where people will see, neighbors will see each other, maybe going to get something to eat or going fishing on the lake or at a festival or picking up some produce at the farmers market. We really want this to be a true community gathering spot. This is our projection on phasing. Don't need to really probably belabor that point other than, does this have a pointer?
It should be the red button there in the middle. See it? No. I'm sorry, green button.
That was a test.
I know, I was gonna say. So this is the secondary road that Travis was speaking of that we got approval from the LCDA over here. But logically, the development will start on the commercial upfront, the residential to the first part of residential, and will logically progress along the interconnective road. Ultimately, developed value. I've been told by a couple of people this is conservative, and I think that is very true. But based on what we're projecting as far as number of houses, you know, square feet and that sort of thing, I actually use the county standard for valuation, so it's not necessarily what things would sell for. But full developed value, we anticipate to be over 900 million with an annual property tax generation of over 15 and an annual sales tax revenue of over 11 million. So we have lofty goals.
That's conservative?
That's conservative, yes. We have, you know, lofty goals of creating a space. But I think this is a great place. I know this area oh too well, and, you know, know and love the people oh too well, and think that a lot of people would enjoy moving here. And I think people who are already here will really enjoy this development. Any questions for me?
Any questions for Ms. Mary Ann?
Go ahead, I got a question for Jeff when he comes back.
Okay, all right. All right, thank you, just don't go anywhere.
All right, thank you so much.
Sir.
Talk about the traffic.
Well, you see that they're proposing to have the spine road there that provides access. They're talking, they're proposing a traffic signal here, and as you heard, they're also talking about a second entrance over here that would also connect to Sunbury Road, which actually provides access for these residents to those jobs without having to get onto the highway. So that will be a positive thing. But the UDO, as part of the development of this whole thing, requires that a professional traffic operations engineer do a study on this to inform the county as they review this project, things that might be needed to make traffic function correctly. And this is also in tandem with the work that the county has already got underway with the Islands Highway project, and you've already got Atlas, or have engaged Atlas in the past, and trying to make some improvements to the interchange there to get the additional lane in there. So there's a lot of work already being done here, but in addition to that, this project will have to have a traffic engineer weigh in on the design of this.
All right, next one, water.
This is in the Development Authority's water service area. I think they've, as they indicated, I think they met with the Development Authority yesterday, so I think the Development Authority has at least given them a green light on at least the first phases of this.
First, go ahead.
So I just wanted to further address that comment, because I think utilities in general in this area is, from a short-term, long-term standpoint, is something that's really important to plan. So since we were here for the previous rezoning and really just in collectively putting this together, we've been meeting with the Development Authority on bi-weekly, monthly basis. So they've been very aware of this project as it's been going through its phases of development and planning. We have been meeting, we just recently met with the Development Authority as well, like you mentioned, but we've done this phasing plan and shared this specifically with them as they've been working on their separate planning with bringing the wastewater treatment facility that they had previously got permitted 15 years ago now. They're back in that process of getting that approval again, starting that design of that system. And so we gave them this phasing plan with unit count, with plan development. Obviously, it was our best guess estimates based on what we're seeing in the market, so that they could plan accordingly. So it's going to take beyond just, this initial phasing that they've already accounted for. It's going to take constant planning with them and coordination as they go through their planning efforts so that we can ensure that this whole development can be done. I think they're right now probably on about a 3-year plan, as we've understand, to actually have upgrades coming online or at least under construction. So we've only, from an initial phasing standpoint, have our first phase really allocated in today's capacity, and we're working with them on our future phases. So given our time frame.
You addressed the waste
Yes.
side of it. What about the drinking water?
So drinking water is less of an issue, I guess, than the wastewater, which is why I focused on that one. I know that they're working on a multi-county regional plan beyond just serving this area to expand water usage. For now, they actually have sufficient water for more than just our first phase of development. I think that from what they've shared with me, again, I'm not a professional engineer, so I haven't done all the studies, but I do know that from what they've been telling me, the wastewater is really the bigger issue on a short and midterm basis. But we're coordinating with them as well on the water side.
He's right. Okay. Travis, a year or so ago, we put into effect opportunities for a developer to participate in infrastructure funding. I know you're very well aware of that. Speak to that, if you will, please, sir.
Yes, from a water sewer standpoint?
Traffic.
From a traffic
Just
standpoint?
the traffic standpoint. is what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
So as, that obviously I got past, what, a year or so ago you mentioned?
How long has it been?
Yeah, the traffic was the transportation aspect, yeah. So as a part of this whole development, as developments come into play, each of those will obviously be assessed based on their traffic generation. Part of what Jeff mentioned with traffic studies having to be done on a per specific development plan basis. So whether it's 100 lots that come in or it's 10,000 square feet of commercial space, they're gonna have to prepare a traffic study that'll get analyzed, and there'll be a contribution fee that's associated to each one of those developments. So that all ties into the bigger picture plan of Islands Highway and those improvements. One comment, Commissioner Stevens, on your question about the traffic part. So we did share this plan, commercial and residential, with Trent Long when he was doing the initial traffic studies for this whole region to come up with that. So that part of it actually has already been done. And then for the specific developments as they come in, there'll be smaller, more direct ones done.
Now, one of protection-wise, we talked about the wastewater, the drinking water. What about fire protection? Because you will be coming into the county, you will be out of the 5 miles radius. Jeff, do you thought about?
That's really a Joey question.
The water, the water capacity will be built into it as the phases get built. You will have to approve every individual phase that goes into this. As far as the countywide fire service, I'm not qualified to answer that one.
Well, if it's water, they'll be required to put hydrants, have hydrant locations, just as you see everywhere that you require now.
All right. Is there anyone here that's outside of the petitioner who, I see a hand, listen, Joey, you have the list.
Ms. Inman?
Yeah. Hey.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Again, I'm Susan Inman. I'm the Coastal Advocate for 100 Miles. We're a nonprofit organization that works to protect communities and natural resources, and we work through advocacy, civic engagement, and education. And I'm here on behalf of our board members, our monthly members, but also our many Liberty County members. Tonight, this is a transformational rezoning of heavy growth that will directly affect the region as a whole, but specifically those that live on the east end of Liberty County. And I admit that having the opportunity for residents to eat and shop close by is a benefit. An example is the clinic that's there. It's a huge benefit to have a nurse practitioner and a doctor close by. Plus, I know Lisa. She's a great person. It also shows the current land use is already offers commercial zoning. So this PUD being proposed today is truly about residential. While with this PUD, heavy residential is proposed, possibly 1,800 units. This high number can be a problem when you build in or near flood zones, near wetlands, and along a tidal river, especially if we keep having heavy rains, strong storms, and increasing sea level rise. But when we talk about flooding, we also cannot forget to include stormwater. More impervious surface and less trees will increase the flooding that we already experience. And we also can't forget about the unbuilt warehouses that will be abutting these residential properties. These warehouses will only increase the volume of stormwater runoff in the area. As this PUD, if you add 1,800 residential units plus 200,000 square foot of commercial property, all this will require increasing county planning and increasing county budget for what we've already been talking about. I was talking about flooding, you were talking about fire protection, traffic, but we haven't brought up schools yet. The schools will also be burdened by this, or need to be expanded by this. And then we were talking about water. The rule or the new legislation was passed last year, but it was passed without any rules attached to it. So that's coming up this year. So by saying that it's coming, it is, but we don't know what those rules are yet. So I just say proceed that with caution if you're talking about drinking water. And in closing, I don't think this should be rezoned as a PUD to allow building 1,800 residential units. But I feel this is going to be rezoned as a PUD, so I think it's appropriate for me to be proactive in this process and ask for stronger protections for residents from the industrial activities. And I'm asking you to consider stronger residential buffers, safer roads for residents, greater focus on stormwater resilience, and fire protection. Again, I know tonight is about rezoning, but we need to be proactive with this large change, and all of this comes with rezoning. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, I have never seen more attention given to buffers, traffic. We talked about the stormwater, and I think Jeff carefully explains that the state of Georgia's rules are in place when it comes to stormwater management, so there are things that the developer has to abide by. Am I right? If I'm wrong, you guys correct me. And I'll have to say, and thank you for your comments, that I am pleased to see that a developer has indicated that he is willing to accommodate really a lot of the citizens' requests. They want a commercial, they want a grocery store, a lot of those things they've been asking for in that area on this agenda. And I agree, and we'll continue to look up for our citizens. We'll continue, I mean, hope you like the bike trails, those kind of things.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Public access to, I mean, you don't have to pay to get behind a gate. You know, that's awesome in itself. That's awesome in itself, especially in Liberty County where so much of our access to the waterways are limited now for our citizens. So this is a great opportunity, but we will take careful note to pencil in all those things. Can we have a copy of
I can send it to you. Yeah, I got a lot of script going on it.
And as we develop it, we have those things in mind as our reminder from you and your organization that we ensure that those things are considered and where we can put it in place.
Absolutely.
So thank you for offering that.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
Thanks.
for offering that. Anyone else, Mr. Brown on there?
No, sir.
Okay, all right, thank you. Oh. You promise.
And I won't even get upset.
Why would you say that? How are you? Give your name for the matter of record, please, ma'am.
I'm Nancy Holman Meyer. I live on Colonel's Island, and I just have two questions, Mr. Travis. Mr. Travis, I am a coastal advocate
along with Susan. And I know you have said that you are not going to affect the wetlands. Is that the truth? No
So-
wetlands are going to be disturbed by
So
this.
as a part of our planning and our zoning, we have no wetlands that are being impacted. The other aspect of that, no, I could never guarantee that no wetlands are ever gonna be impacted. Somebody who comes in and buys a portion of property to develop 100 homes may choose to pursue a wetland impact.
Oh, so
But
you are not the developer for everything. You are going to sell?
Pieces will be home, we're not a home builder like D.R. Horton, right? So if a D.R. Horton came in, they would build the home, we would maybe do the lots and the roads for them.
Uh-huh.
So that's where we would divide.
Okay, so you
But from a
can't
wetland-
guarantee then?
From a
You can't-
wetland impact standpoint, we have no planned wetland impacts, and financially, right now, no, it's not even feasible to impact wetlands.
But
for
you
development.
can't guarantee it for the future?
No, we could not
Okay,
guarantee.
that's.
But help me out, don't leave that, Joey,
He
but,
cannot guarantee
Yeah, I
that
hear that.
wetlands will not be impacted.
but people can't just go in and,
Well, so, yeah, obviously there are
Yeah.
rules concerning
Well, but-
any
Yeah,
potential
so no matter
impact
who
of
it
wetlands,
is.
I'm sorry,
you know,
but I just have to
You don't have
ask.
to be sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there are rules, obviously, the Corps
Yeah,
has
for
rules
anyone.
concerning impact of wetlands
Yeah.
and mitigation of
Well,
wetlands.
I just
or
had to
disturbance,
ask.
right?
Okay.
And my second question is, you guys promised that when all of these warehouses and everything were being developed, there would be no more access roads to Islands Highway. And they have appeared like popping up mushrooms all down Islands Highway. And now, now the proposal is that the second access road is going to be on Islands Highway. Another one.
That's an existing road.
It exists already?
Yes,
Where
ma'am.
is it? Where is it? I mean, I know where it is here, but where is it on the road? What's there by it already? That's existing.
You mean on the Sudbury Road right now?
Well, it's coming on to Islands Highway, right?
So
To come out to Sunbury, then to Islands Highway.
Coming in for Islands Highway.
that road would enter to Sunbury.
Some old Sunbury Road,
So
right?
this second road, this is
Uh-huh.
Sunbury Road.
And so it's not, nothing's, I mean,
So
there's not going to be a new
There,
road on
there,
Islands Highway.
there's already a road in
Mhm.
the east that exists
Yeah.
from Sunbury that actually comes down to Islands Highway already.
Okay,
So we're not adding one.
okay. That was my question.
And let me do this, Jeff, help me out, because I want to make sure we leave here with clear understanding. Because you said we've allowed several,
Where the warehouses are,
There haven't been any added on Islands Highway.
no, hadn't been any added, no.
And the one that they're talking about here, the reason for this is to alleviate one way in, one way out in the long term, 10, 15 years.
leaving that one away,
But basically, the road that.
It's Old Sunbury.
In Trade Port East is right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's already built. It
Yeah.
comes out to Islands Highway here. That's one of the places. And this road, if built, eventually would line up here. So
Yeah, but you've got Hooker, you've got Sava Fe.
Yeah, and those have been over.
Those have been there, though, those were there.
I'm saying
Over a
that
year ago,
before
yeah.
they were built, you all had said.
Who said that? Yeah.
No, not before they were built. We didn't put those
No,
roads in.
ma'am.
Right, yeah.
Those were my
Okay,
two questions.
okay, thank you. You know, we always like to see you. We always like to see you.
I'll give you 2 minutes, every first Saturday.
Yes, we're partners.
At
We-
Dorchester.
We're partners, good to see you. Any further questions, Commissioner? All right, then we need to come out of,
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
second, all in favor? We're now back in the regular session, all right. Commissioner Stevens, this is,
I stand corrected, that's Commissioner Jones,
oh, is it your?
Jones District. 'Cause if it's sitting on the
Yeah, that-
left-hand side of Islands Highway, that's Commissioner Jones.
He said, now you tell him. Yeah, one time, Jeff, you all were listening the districts. Yeah.
Did we
But-
put on there as
but-
District 1?
Well,
didn't
well,
put
you didn't, but I think we assumed that it was District 1 because it's across 95. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's quite all right,
But-
quite all right.
I mean,
We'll help you.
Okay. And we've heard all of the public comment.
Yes, we have.
And no opposition that we are aware of.
Yeah.
And presentation that they have given. Everything seemed to be addressed. And moving forward, we will have to approve everything.
Yes, yes, sir.
Each phase. So
Yes, sir.
we will be overseeing it moving forward. I would, Mr. Chairman, like to make a motion that we accept the LCPC's staff recommendation for approval of the rezoning petition with standard conditions.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Everybody second.
Yes, sir. All right, heard the motion in second, ready to vote. All in favor, show of hands, please. Motion passes, and River Keepers, we got your notes in our files. Thank you. Thank you all. Listen, I can't say enough about it's not comes to mind, the compassion that you guys have shown for this project and for the public access. So it just means a lot to us to see that happens. You're starting something in Liberty County. The others will have to work hard to follow. So we appreciate you guys. Appreciate you
I
guys.
appreciate your patience. Boy, we've been doing this about 2 years. You've made more trips than I. Pleasure here. Thank you.
All right, approval of the 2025 calendar.
Yes, sir, this is just a calendar that Ms. Tart put out there for y'all. We really only see one conflict in that, and that is on the third Thursday in June, on Juneteenth. And didn't know whether y'all want to try to move that meeting forward or what to do about that meeting. You can almost have it on the 17th if you want to do for that year.
Commissioners, any feel for that? Is it too early to?
Yeah, I think it's too early. We talking about 9 months from now.
Okay. All right. Well, let's try to then.
You know, the reason I say that, Mr. Chairman, I mean, you know, we could see as it get closer and, you know, maybe something that comes up in May or June that we, you know, not say we can't, but that we wouldn't want to. I mean,
Can we set a trigger to make that decision in May?
Best thing to do is probably look at it in April, because Jeff will have advertising to do. If there's
Okay,
anything that
April,
comes up that needs
okay.
rezoning or anything that
Can
has
somebody
to pop in, then.
flag it so we don't let it?
Well, the only thing is, at the end of the, prior to the end of the year, we send out the commissioner's calendar to all the departments, so they can plan.
Other agencies too, chamber and some of those, yeah.
We can put it for the 17th perhaps, and we have the option to change it later in April.
Why don't we just leave it June?
why don't we just have a meeting
Well, it's a holiday. We're
first and third Tuesdays?
We're closed.
It's a holiday now.
For,
It's a federal holiday.
for
Juneteenth.
June.
Juneteenth.
So what are you asking to do?
That's what I'm saying. Do you want to reschedule or
Cancel.
the ninth, the second meeting?
Oh,
altogether?
okay, okay, I got you now. Well, we can have it on the 17th.
Or
I'm
we
good
could
with
just
that.
have our
Or the
meetings on the
25th.
first and third Tuesday.
We'll have it on the
every month.
17th.
Nip all this in.
Hey, you don't even go.
Because.
You're on time.
Because this
Okay.
this is never mind. I'm just.
You all right.
I know,
We just
I'm gonna
bring
let,
no
I'm gonna
flowers.
let you slide on this one time. Next time I'm coming for you.
You coming for me?
I promise you, Connie. For real, for real.
It's okay, okay,
I know.
I'll be waiting.
Okay.
I'll fire back.
I know.
17th then, tentatively?
You need to fire,
17th.
you need to bring something to the table.
I
I've
got
been sitting up here for 12 years. I haven't heard you give any type of recommendation.
All right,
Any-
call to order, call to order, call to order.
The 17th is fine.
For real.
17th.
Okay.
17th.
Yes, that's the only.
That's the only conflict we
Okay,
see.
all right.
Got it.
Before Mr. Brown gives the administrative report, we're going to, we didn't do that earlier, and just let me extend once again our public sympathy to Mr. Mosley and his recent loss. Have been praying and continue to pray for you and your family. Just know that you're in our thoughts and you're in our prayers. Yeah, all right. All right.
Just some upcoming stuff real quick. As you know, the ARPA projects, the capital projects have to be under contract no later than the end of this year. So I've been talking to Mr. Long about those and moving quickly to finalize a plan for Jones Creek, send to you, Mr. Chairman, for everybody to look at over the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
To do that with a budget there. The West Side Water analysis, West Side Water Extension Project actually opens on the 21st, so that'll be well ahead of schedule. The water sewer study, he has talked to somebody to do that on a countywide basis, And so he'll be bringing that to you in his next report, along with some discussion about design of that pier, the fishing pier down there. So we think we can at least get the design done, and then you're gonna need to use that design to apply for some federal funds.
Government doesn't move fast, but
And
it
do some
moves.
things. So he's gonna be talking with y'all about that,
Okay.
and he's gonna be talking to you about LMIG projects at the next meeting too. Because he didn't really have any feedback from that, so he's gonna, if y'all can kind of think about that.
I'm watching the clock, but didn't we not, kind of by general consensus, agree that those LMIG funds would fund the project? And didn't we kind of, sort of? Did we not get that far along? Am I mistaken?
If we didn't, we can now, going to give it to him.
Yeah.
I
you
don't
agree?
know.
Yeah,
What Elmick, Trenton here?
yeah, he's not here.
He'll talk about it when he
Okay,
comes.
all
He'll
right,
talk about it when he
okay,
comes.
all right.
Yeah, that's
So
just
he
kind,
started on strike?
just kind of a heads up for you.
Okay, all right.
That he'll be talking about that. And we do have the health department groundbreaking scheduled for the 18th at 10 o'clock. We're getting things together for that. Your millage public hearings, even though you're decreasing your millage rate, are still required because of certain advertisement has to run, but those are on the calendar. You should be aware of those. Two of them on the 14th and one on the 21st. We are scheduled to go down and meet with Midway concerning the fire protection on the 12th. EMS bids for the administrative building open this Friday. And I want to ask you too, historic cultural funds, we've accumulated some more of those that are unobligated. Had a couple of requests from some folks, if it's okay, to go ahead and maybe run another set of advertisements for those. If you don't mind, there's about $176,000 that's accumulated in there now, unobligated.
Let's use it.
So we'll go ahead and put that out for you for the committee to look at. Public Works is nearing substantial completion and anticipate that the first punch is probably in December on that building. By the way, back to the health department for a minute, the rebar for the footers will be in the next couple of weeks, so I'm hoping we get the groundbreaking done before he builds the building. They're moving along pretty good, moving along pretty good. Just as a heads up to two entities that we've been working with on outstanding bills, we have a meeting with one tomorrow with the mayor, chairman, and I do, and the city of Hinesville has sent most of their stuff in, the others coming this week.
Okay.
As far as for election reimbursement. So just want to give you that quick update too.
Now, you mentioned that. Who hand does it lie in to change the process on how they pay?
Well,
Is it the election board or this board?
Well, it's really this board, and it comes down to you, but we're actually changing, we're gonna have a more detailed agreement. In fact, Mr. Mosley, we've done a little draft here, he's done a little draft for us to look at in meetings with all the cities and the Board of Education, talking about how those will be itemized, what the expenses will be, and what everybody will be responsible for reimbursement.
Up front.
Well, yeah, I wish. No, I don't wish. But yeah, great question. So the agreement will actually detail all of that. Yes, sir.
Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Joe, I'll probably send you an email tomorrow. You and Mr. Mosley, I've been getting a lot of complaints through my office about the FEMA contractor picking up the debris. A lot of them. They come in 2 and 3 times a day. So.
And we can direct those, we'll get Bob to talk with them also. You know, I will say, we've had some conversation about it too, is that they're heavy debris pickers. They've had, I've got actually a report I can send you from the last couple of days that has some pickup sites and everything that they've done. They've struggled, as all the counties have, with labor and having enough crews to work. But now there are more crews in the county that have come from some other places. But they are, unfortunately, they don't have rakes with them. And so they're not, I will say this, is that they will not be doing the same job that the normal pickup folks do for them, unfortunately, because they do such a good job. But yeah, let me know. Send me a note.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I talked with Kenny a little bit about it today, and I'll just copy Mr. Chairman on it.
That'd be good.
I'll send it to you.
That'd be good.
Okay.
Is that a case of where we should create the narrative on that rather than someone else doing that? You know, we're working with them. Ladies and gentlemen, be patient. They're coming your way. We don't have that schedule, blah, 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 that kind of thing, you know. Perhaps being a little proactive with on our website and EMA's website.
We can. I think the frustration is twofold, is that number one, it's been there for a while because of labor and resources across the state of Georgia and other states.
We understand.
And the lack thereof. And the other part is the expectation level
Yeah, but
of what actually is, you know, what actually is gonna get picked up and what's not gonna get picked up.
what I've, the calls I've had is that, the level of service is not what they're used to, and that's understandable. And, we don't know where they are.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, we saw them in the country club last week. And between the country club, which is near Allenhurst, and the next time we saw them, they was, near Fort Stewart. Now, so
Country club
in
is not
between here and there,
Yeah,
you know, I mean, it seemed like to me if you,
yeah, it's,
one step at a time.
it's not a normal route, and it's not any route to it. That was the frustration I expressed last week a little bit to Bob, that he carried to them, was to say, if you move into an area, work the area. I think, you know, the other part of that is the frustration level is, okay, you're finally here, I see you down the road, you load up a truck, and you're going to another area. You know, once you come in, finish and get done, so we can at least track that. So I know he has expressed that to them, because that's not, we couldn't run
Well, yeah,
we couldn't run a service that way.
Right, that's what I'm saying, is, you know, if they're looking for trash, they pass a
They
whole lot of.
got a whole lot of opportunity.
Get to the other side of town.
But please send those to me, and I'll be glad to.
Okay.
They have a big problem backing for the trailer behind the truck, and they weren't loaded, but just one closest to the road. The back one was never any material on it. Now, I'm sure there was, places that they could use it, but I watched them in, well, Martin Woods, over off, in there by your house, all around. They would pick up some, and when you come down Stacy's Store Road right now, or Stacy's Road to Martin, there's trees on each side. I mean, the
there are.
city was over there today blowing it off, but the trees is still laying on the sidewalk, and they went in and out of there, I don't know how many times, but
I can't understand that, because they actually don't get credit for a load at the load site by the monitor from the third-party monitoring station unless they've got, I mean, they get paid per cubic yard. So they're not, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's not efficient.
We can't expect the general public to understand all that, so whatever statement that we can release that gives them something, you know, let's please do that.
Sure.
Let's please do that, yeah. All right, that's all for good. I'll chair take a motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor? Thank you. Have a great election night.